Progress has been moving along very quickly on the new Top Thrill Dragster 2.0 at Cedar Point. Not only have we seen new footers poured, construction done around the station, supports repainted, but now this week, new refurbished track for Top Thrill Dragster 2.0 has been arriving at Cedar Point. But still, one very important question remains. Who's behind this project? Is it Zamperla, like many believe, or is it the ride's original manufacturer, Intamin? I think as more progress gets made on Top Thrill Dragster 2.0, we're getting closer and closer to that answer. Now, unlike most other coaster YouTubers, I'm not going to claim to know the answer to this. Quite frankly, I have as much insider knowledge as most of you do. And no offense to fans of El Toro Orion or theme park projections, but I don't think any of their videos provide definitive evidence, just rumors and speculation. Now, I have nothing against El Toro Orion or theme park predictions, or fans of them, but I do believe some enthusiasts are taking this a little too far. I've seen lots of people getting in heated arguments about this, because they refuse to believe the other side's right. Now, although I don't have the answer to this, and I don't have definitive evidence, I believe I can offer some insight into this. And I can explain why I believe it's equally possible for either manufacturer to be working on this. First, let's start with the most popular theory right now, that Zamperla Rides is refurbishing Top Thrill Dragster for Cedar Point. This is the theory that most coaster enthusiasts are latching onto right now, and honestly, I can see why. This theory does have a lot of backing to it, but this theory also has a lot of holes in it. Let's start with why this theory could be possible. Well, first of all, Cedar Fair seems to have a very close relationship with Zamperla. They just installed the new Cedar Point Wild Mouse coaster, and they also installed numerous flat rides at Kings Island and at Carowinds. And the relationship between Cedar Fair and Zamperla only seems to be growing. Second, Zamperla is known to be refurbishing old Intamin launch coasters. In 2022, Zamperla announced they would be bringing a new launch coaster to P&E Playland in Canada. Although this launch coaster would be an old Intamin launch coaster, refurbished with new Zamperla trains and LSMs. So it wouldn't exactly be out of the question for Zamperla to refurbish Top Thrill Dragster. And third, it was leaked that Cedar Point was shipping the old Top Thrill Dragster track to a location very close to Zamperla's headquarters. So right now, it seems like everything points to Zamperla refurbishing this ride. But please let me point out some holes in this theory first. While Cedar Fair does seem to have a much better relationship with Zamperla than they do with Intamin, it's important to keep in mind that this hasn't been a very long relationship. The projects they've worked on together involve a couple flat rides and a prototype family coaster that's had its own maintenance issues. Wild Mouse was closed most of opening weekend this year, due to maintenance issues, but it does seem to be running better now. Do you really think Cedar Fair would trust Zamperla to refurbish their star attraction at their star park after only working on one family coaster together? To me, it seems unlikely. And while yes, Zamperla is refurbishing that Intamin launch coaster for P&E Playland, you have to keep in mind that is not a Cedar Fair park, and that has next to nothing to do with Top Thrill Dragster. Just because they can, doesn't mean they will. And finally, yes, it has been observed that Cedar Point is sending shipments to Italy near Zamperla's headquarters. But keep in mind, the majority of roller coaster manufacturers are from this area in Europe. It is pretty close to Zamperla, but not too far away from Intamin either. Just because a shipment's headed to that general area doesn't mean it's headed to Zamperla. Plus, it's common knowledge Cedar Point has been sending and receiving packages from Zamperla for their brand new 2023 Wild Mouse roller coaster. So not every package from Zamperla is going to be related to Top Thrill Dragster. So as you can see, this theory is very possible, but none of this is definitive evidence. And I think some people are a little too excited at the possibility of this. Try your best to consider all possibilities, and don't be too disappointed if what you want doesn't happen. Now, let's discuss the possibility of Top Thrill Dragster being refurbished by Intamin. First of all, Intamin is the ride's original manufacturer, so they understand this ride better than anyone else. They've been working on this ride model for ages, and personally, I think they would be the best option for a refurbishment for this ride. They're the one who made it, they've been working on it for ages, they know what they're doing. If it was done by Zamperla, it would just be another prototype attraction, and probably just be as unreliable as the original Top Thrill Dragster. Intamin products are still very unreliable, but I'm just saying a Zamperla prototype wouldn't be that much better. Now I do understand Cedar Fair has a very fractured relationship with Intamin. After the Shoot the Rapids incident at Cedar Point, they altogether stopped purchasing new attractions from Intamin. But I do think for a project of this size, they would want someone with experience. And quite frankly, Zamperla doesn't have much experience with projects of this scale. Next, let's talk about the new track and supports that have arrived on site at Cedar Point. To me, this track looks like the exact same track that was removed from Top Thrill Dragster, just with new brake fins installed. Now, I think these brake fins do look different than the normal Intamin brake fins that you would see on rides like Red Force, But still, I don't think this rules Intamin out altogether. These brake fins also don't look much like the ones Zamperla use, at least to my knowledge. I haven't seen any brake fins like these on their attractions. Now, let's discuss all the holes in the Intamin theory. The main problem with this theory is Cedar Fair's fractured relationship with Intamin. It's really hard to imagine Cedar Fair working with Intamin again, especially for an attraction on this scale. But besides that, I think this theory is just as possible as the Zamperla theory. The Zamperla theory is poked with a bunch of small holes, and the Intamin theory is poked with one big hole. And honestly, I think both of these theories are just as possible as the other. I am really interested to hear your thoughts on these theories, and what you think about Thrill Dragster 2.0. What manufacturer do you think will be working on it? And what evidence do you have to back it up? Let me know down in the comments below. I'm excited to hear your theories. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.